And hello, everybody, and welcome to Magical Journey. I am your host, Daniel Cahoon. And tonight we have a very interesting show. It's a recap show with Tom Franklin from the Eye of Jupiter. But before I get started with all that, I want to do a little bit of shameless promotion here. First of all, let's talk about the website, magicaljourney.com, where you can find all of the stuff on me, everything you need to know, social media links, contact links. I'll be putting the store info up soon for Magical Journey merch. And there's also some guest appearances on there where I've been a guest on shows in the past, and I should be adding some more of those soon, I hope. Also, Facebook group Magical Journey, where you can find all kinds of good little extra stuff, articles, photos on current topics that I'm covering on the channel, as well as um, getting to know some of the folks that do follow and support me. There's also the page for Magical Journey um, for the channel where you can find out what the excuse me, the current and wow, excuse me, it's the winter time. Um, Current stuff, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And also with that, the paranormal files has its page two, showing you all the latest info on what's up on there. And you can also find me on TikTok and X. And I am currently looking at other platforms that I will be posting on very soon, including Rumble. Okay, so that's the story on me. Meanwhile, before I bring my guest to the stage, I do want to give a shout out to Fire Lotus tonight. You will see some of their links popping up here on the site. And thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate you and love your support and you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm bringing Tom Franklin to the stage. And hello, Tom.
Hello, how's it going? How's it going, Daniel?
I'm doing good. How are you? Are you?
I wrote down the time incorrectly. I wrote 8, but I didn't specify Eastern Standard Time. So I kind of jokingly wrote, checking my phone, we'll be on an hour. And then Pam's like, no, Tom, 10 minutes. And we have some things planned. So there will be a little bit of noise in the background. My girlfriend is doing some cooking for an event we're going to later, and I'll try my best to mitigate it. But we'll have some fun anyway.
You know what? It's okay because I forgot to send you a link anyway, because that's how together I am this week.
Oh, fair enough.
Um, I mean, come on. So, Tom, before we get started, give us a little bit about yourself and tell us what you got going on social media wise.
My name is Tom Franklin. I am the host of the Eye of Jupiter podcast, where we basically discuss everything, just odd things that you wouldn't normally find in any type of mainstream outlets. It could be anything from cryptids like Bigfoot to Dogman to, the Wendigo. We talk about, witches, dark and light and green, and psychedelics, anything that interests me, basically. And my social medias are, of course, YouTube at the Eye of Jupiter podcast. Go ahead and subscribe if you'd like. You can also find me on Rumble and Spotify. I'm also on Instagram, Podbean, and there's something else, Twitch. I'm also on Twitch as well. I don't think I have any Twitch followers yet because I just started, and I also have some merchandise as well.
Wow, yes, you do. You have a really good shop set up, actually. So you're on Twitch as well. You said you just started that, so you don't really have a lot of feedback on Twitch yet.
No.
No. Okay. All right. So, We are
There's
going
a
to talk
delay.
about. There is a delay. Is that a big delay? A little bit, kind of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be CNN tonight. Um,
Yeah.
why not? So we're going to do a bit of a recap tonight for 2024. Oddly enough, I started out the year in September with Tom on as my first guest. Uh, and right, yes. But it's very fitting because it was really your show that inspired me to start doing what I'm doing.
Wow. That's I don't even know how to describe how that feels. That you would say that being the awesome person that you are. What do you say? Thanks, or I don't know. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad I was able to inspire you to follow your passion, and I think you found it. And I had you on my podcast initially. You and I hit it off because I got to be honest with you. Your Facebook profile picture is a little bit, huh? And turned out to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the profile picture is kind of sketchy. It is. Yeah, it was like it literally like the first time I saw one of your shows, I was like, I don't know who this is, but I need to know. And then after watching the show, you had said, given people an invitation to reach out to you if they had a story to tell. And I was like, yeah, we got a story to tell. And it just kind of bloomed from there. So, so this is how I kicked
Yeah,
off.
and you became like this awesome podcaster, so it's really fitting.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm still growing, dude. I really am. Um, my list of things for
Are we all?
2025. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have gone over the 1K mark now. So how does that feel?
Yeah,
What's going on there?
it feels just like a stepping stone. It meant something when I was trying to get there. Now that I'm there, it's just like, okay, it's a bit of a validation for the hard work and dedication that I put into the channel, all the sleepless nights and sweaty mornings and all the hours of editing. It's just the beginning, dude. I'm just trying to reach a wider audience to get out a message of like, peace, hope, prosperity, and love, basically.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, like your lineup of folks that you have interviewing is stellar, absolutely stellar. Uh, and you've introduced me
Thanks.
to people that are stellar people. Like, I mean, would have never found Pam if it was Pam is amazing. Denise is amazing. You guys as moderators are incredible. Uh, Michael Cameron, oh my God, the list just goes. The list is massive. You have
Yeah, I just
opened my
interviewed him
world up.
again last night. Yeah, I just interviewed him again
Yeah.
last night, and we're planning on a really big episode, hopefully February, maybe before that. I don't know. With him and Mark Savnik, they're both members of the Super Soldier program, and I want to have like a three-way live. And Mark already said yes. Mike already said yes. We just have to figure out a day because Mark is in Europe as well as Cameron, but Mark has a day job, and Cameron, I don't know, he's a very busy man, does his books and everything. So that's going to be a cool episode coming up as well.
Right, right. Yeah, I got Michael coming on January the 3rd. January's lineup is looking really good right now. I'm not going to give away everything on there, but I will tell you I've got Michael scheduled and two other returning guests coming. Well, one other returning guest and one uh, fairly local person coming on that I have not had on before. I'm very excited about that. Uh, I got wind of through uh, Dennis Schrader Hill, who I absolutely adore, another person I met through you. Um, there's so many. Like I've got a lineup of people I want to get Fire Lotus and uh, Ellie, the Prosperity Witch, on as a kind of a dual interview coming up soon. Uh,
Oh, that sounds
Nana,
cool.
yeah, Nana the Witch and Bruja Ryan. I want to book as a duo show coming up soon, and of course, um, Sin and Mark, got to get them on the show. Just power duo that I want to get booked up. So it's been a very so interestingly enough, Ellie and Lotus were two of the people who I actually got on pretty close into the beginning of the uh, the show. Like Lotus was like, "Hey, I'm in right away." So and I'm looking forward to doing another episode with Lotus very soon because they're just like, I gotta tell you, everybody that I have lined up right now, like as far as information goes, they are literally a heavy source of information. So I'm really excited about that. If you want to know stuff, you've got to get on. Um, it's very interesting though, Tom, because like
Sounds cool, man.
when, yeah, it's really interesting, Tom. I gotta tell you, one of the things I'm finding as far as like trying to get to that first 500, I'm getting there. I like to is retention at watch time. What the heck is all that?
It's hard. It's so hard. I'm seriously thinking about redoing my whole intro where it just kind of smash cuts right into the interview, just to kind of get the people right there, because I've noticed like you can see on the retention time, like they'll just like it goes down to whatever 30%, and then it goes right up when we start talking, and then a
Mhm.
couple people fall off, and then when there's a really interesting topic that comes up or an experience or something, then it goes up again. But I
Right.
think people just want to go right to it. I think they kind of know the show by now. And if not, they can always go back in the past and see the intro or whatever. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to revamp that. I also have to get a better camera. The microphone's working well. That sounds cool. Um, there's a couple things that I have to fix. I also have Bradley Leo lined up. He was the 33rd parallel guy. He has the Awaken podcast, big hitter. Uh, I'm hopefully also having back on Mr. MK Davis, which episode dropped on Wednesday because my live fell out, and we're going to do the Zapruder film. So it's going to be awesome.
Right. I'm looking forward to seeing those. I have not watched the MK video yet, and I really want to because it's like, uh, again, just packed full of information, packed full. And I know that just by knowing the source there. So, um, yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta tell you,
just the way he breaks down. If he were to take and break down the Zapruder film half as good as he broke down the Patterson Gimlin film, we're in for a treat. I'm basically
definitely.
going to be shocked by this video, because the Patterson Gimlin film, I don't know if you guys seen it, but the Bigfoot itself, she pardon, had a braid right here on the forehead, a
Mhm.
braided piece of hair on the Bigfoot itself. You can see the breast moving as it walked, and
Right.
the bottom of its feet, and he has such a love affair with what he does, and he's just a fantastic person, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, dude. Well,
I feel that.
about something as horrible as a assassination.
Right. And I feel that like some of the stuff that you were saying that you picked up on, um, on that film was quite. It was beyond shocking, actually. Some of the detail that's pointed out there. So I can't wait to see that. I've got it on my bucket list for this weekend. There's this week is kind of
All
a
right.
week where yeah, this week is a week where I'm playing catch up in a way. I'm booking guests and doing a lot of other
Yes,
stuff.
you were telling me.
Yeah, yeah, trying to get it going. Um, so one of the things I've noticed about your intro that I really like is that you kind of do a mini clip on there, kind of like a teaser clip at the beginning. Are you going to keep that as part of your intro?
Not always.
Okay.
Not always. Basically, I do it when I have to edit out certain words, or there's a break in the recording, or something like that. Whenever the podcast is able to sustain itself a little bit better, I'm going to take that revenue and reinvest it into a new computer, camera, and as well as be able to pay for some more software, and which would be easier and quicker for me to edit video. And then then I can actually, because like say for example, if the video is an hour and 15 minutes long, it takes an hour and a half for it to. So it's always, I'll be in a new place. I'm working on moving to a new place, uh, getting internet directly connected to my computer, because right now I'm still working on Wi-Fi. Why just switches sometimes, here in Mexico, it's kind of here and there. So I'm going to pay for the top of the line internet, and just step up everything. I'm going to get a real background behind me that I'm going to work on and actually do with some lights in it or some coolness. I don't know. I got to think of something, and just step up my game, and just be better at what I do. Because the guests I have on are all home run hitters. You yourself, as much as Jim. From the Fisher Spams, the Night Watch, and everybody else I've had on. I've had on Ron Moorhead. I've had on Daryl Denton. I was Bradley Lale. I had on MK Davis. I've had on these, people who are well established in the fields in which they do their research and come on the show. So that hasn't been an issue. You remember when you and I first met, you were like, "I'm hearing this awful buzz," and I'm like, "I'm not hearing anything. Let's just my numbers, so to speak." But it has a lot to do with this learning curve that, like I was kind of. You guys are coming with me, you know what I mean? Like, you and Jim and Pam, Pam's always awesome and supporting us. She doesn't want to be on camera, but that's her choice. But you're like, okay, Tom, how do you do your merchandise? Tom, how do you edit your videos? And I'm like, this is what I do. You guys let me know if you have anything better. And we just kind of work on it from there. And hopefully I'm able to put out a better experience, a more not in depth so much. I think the in depthness is there, but a more of an interactive experience in which the people feel more as if they were sitting in a room with me and my guests. That's what I really want. I'm a big fan of like Opie and Anthony back in the day when they started. It was like they're like the precursors to podcasting. They would bring in these comedians all from New York, and they would just sit in a room, and you felt like you're in there cutting it up with the guys. And that's the kind of idea and that I want to go with, the feeling that I want to work with. You always have to read your guests. You know how it is, Patrick. You're good at this, buddy. You have to read them. You kind of put out little feeler jokes and little feeler lines. And a lot of times I can get them to like relax, open up, and give them a space that they feel comfortable talking with me. So this whole experience has been like, I started on my own back in February. So I'm only 6 months ahead of you. But with podcasting, I've been doing it for a while. I had a comedy podcast for a while with a good comedy friend of mine that no longer exists, and I don't even think it's up anymore. It was called Pokey Talk Time. And then I was on the Lost Frequency with Rye from Codex of Curiosities, who's doing very well. He's very good at it. And trust me, everything that you've learned from me, I've learned from him. And it's an ever evolving thing that I'm doing, and hopefully it'll get better. I'm going to do my best to make it better.
Right. That's exactly where I'm at right now, is getting better. Uh, the like one of the things I'm want to work on for this coming year, and I mentioned that in the post that I put in the group tonight, is intro and outro videos. Right now, I have a really good one for, I feel like anyway, for the paranormal files, but I want to up the ante for the Tuesday show and for the live. And then maybe, just maybe, because I'm starting to focus on some stuff like missing 411 cases. And the latest one, or the first one I did, was one of the big five from the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, Trini Gibson. I got a guy that I talked to today who was at one time a big podcaster on the tube. Um, Fritz, I forget his last name all of a sudden. Uh, he he popped up in my search for Dennis Martin, the Dennis Martin case. He is one of the few YouTubers who ever went to the actual area and he did he did his deep dive into that area. The video that he has up, dude, I would not try to walk the trail. He also got chased by 3 bears on the way too. It was brutal. I mean, it was a brutal video, but it's a good video. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to doing the interview
Cool.
with him.
Very cool.
Yeah, this guy also worked. Not only is he a YouTube partner and award-winning YouTube broadcaster from way back. I think he was on YouTube about a big uh, guy there. But he also worked with FEMA during the Katrina crisis and a few other things. So there's a
Okay.
lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. He's got a lot of conspiracy stuff uh, that he knows about and talks about. So it's just that is a big hitter in itself. Also, you guys really enjoyed Brian from Black Mass Paranormal. I just reached out to him today too again and was like, "Hey, dude, I know you've had a lot going on lately. Uh, he's caught some drone footage from over near Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Uh, we've talked about that before,
Wow,
and
they're in Tennessee too.
oh yeah, apparently so. He's caught a lot of stuff lately. Not only drone footage, but he's caught some other things lately that I want to talk to him about. So I'm waiting for him to respond back to me. So Brian will be coming back on. Keep our fingers and eyes crossed. Um, I'm really hoping to get him right. I'm really hoping to get this guy back on soon because he is a wealth of information about things with the local Tennessee area. Uh, Trying to think. I know there was something that I was going to bring up that yeah. So if you guys remember Daniel Hamilton, I have him coming back on also in January. He started a new podcast dealing with the oh yeah, dealing with the Bigfoot issue. So Lotus is saying that they've been popping up in Florida too, which doesn't surprise me. Um, because
It's going to be
Florida,
everywhere.
it is. Well, and I did a spot on that last night for the paranormal, and I gotta tell you, I'm not really impressed with that episode because I wasn't really into it so much. I this topic is as overdone as a McDonald's Big Mac. I mean, it's just overcooked, overcooked. Um, dude, it's like they have put that sucker on rotisserie Spinnenberg. I don't. It's like Um, yeah, that's the other thing, Denise. I'm not really, to be honest with you, I'm not thinking it's an alien situation by any means. I think it's very much organic to us. Um, but I gave it some time, and at the end of the show, I was like, exactly, Pam, distraction is exactly what it is. And that's kind of what I alluded to at the end of the show last night. I was like, I wasn't even going to give this any time, but I did, so I guess you win, you know. Yeah, it's all about distraction. And the question is what are they trying
Yeah,
to distract us from? Exactly, Tom, distraction. That is my big question too. What are
I'll
they
say there. I
really
could
doing?
have said that.
Yeah. What are they really doing? Yeah.
Ah,
What?
yeah, it's very because they want to do like there's this whole they're searching for nuclear material. They're drones that come out of the water, and they okay, the first thing they do is they put a thing in your mind. The first word is drone. Are some of them drones? Yes. Are some of them planes? Yes. Are some of them helicopters? Yes. But some of them are none of those. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing they're going to do is change the narrative, guys. They're going to start saying UAE, which is not what we call it. I don't, at least on the eye Jupiter, we call it UFO, and it will always be a UFO because that's what it is. They change words, meanings. They do that all the time. It's part of their game. So don't play the game. Whatever this is, it's gonna unfold. Whatever they're distracting us from, I don't know what that is, but just know this for sure: they want to put fear into your heart. And no matter what happens, we are. I mean, not to be morbid or anything, but we are a life form that's time here isn't infinite anyway. So I'm here for it, and more or less, bring it on. Let's really find out what it is because I want to know. And so don't be worried at all.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really
no,
jealous how well your face is lighted.
you know, it's
I got a
I've
shine
shown
right here.
you a little bit probably. Yeah. I've shown you my setup before, right? So I have like the box lights on both sides. Uh, and
It's
I'm
not true.
working on other, like, getting a couple of other things set up. Just got to get, yeah. I got to do some moving
Oh, on Long Island, New York, they gave the police authority to shoot down the mystery drones. That's
around.
crazy. I don't know if that would even be true or not, because if they were to shoot them down, they would have to be over non-populated areas, and we know that Long Island is extremely populated. So I don't know, you know what I mean? Because like you said, it's there's a lot of lying going on. If it was a foreign entity, say if it's a foreign entity, like let's just say it's Slovenia, let's say it's Russia, let's say it's Italy, whatever it is, right? What happened in NORAD? Remember 9/11, guys? Oh, we messed up. We fixed all that now.
Hmm.
Right? So if it's a foreign adversary, then it will be taken down. There's also a new FAA law that says that if you have a drone that's over 250 grams, which is heavier than anybody's, say, external keyboard, it has to be then registered with like some type of marker so that the FAA sees it, they know it's registered to your name. So they know who it is. So it can only be one of two things. Either it's the military or it's something that they don't want to talk about because they don't want to seem as if they can't control it. But the thing is, and really, like, what are we ever in control of? Are we in control of the fact that we're born? Are we in control of the fact that when we that we die or not? The only thing we really get to control is like, do we have, do we want fries with that? That's about the only thing we really control in the end. So just
Right.
be happy with it and sit back, get your popcorn, enjoy the light show, and let's see what this is. I want to know what it is. That's all it is. I just want to know.
Right. Right. I don't honestly, it'll be interesting to see again what the distraction is, what it is that's trying to, like, veers away from actually knowing. Uh, I don't think it is. I really don't think it's one of those situations where the outgoing administration is trying to you know prolong their time or anything. I don't buy that. I do believe though that the outgoing administration is you know, really not addressing the issue very well at all, uh, or at all. Actually, I hear crickets, but I also hear crickets every time I see him, so I'm not sure. It's like the lights are on, but there is definitely nobody home.
Well, to give you a little bit of pushback on that point, I don't. If you look at it as if it's an administration, if you look at it as if like it's a factions of red and blue, then yeah, I would agree with you on that. But I think it's more of like the mafia versus some type of satanic type weird thing. And they, whether you like the guy or not, they did try to unlife him twice. They actually put out the arm of the law when it comes to like the FBI, all these things. Like he just got a defamation suit in which they said that he did something to a woman, and they were like, nope, he got defamation suit of $15 million. Like
Hmm.
they've done everything. They've done everything that I can imagine that you could possibly do to an incumbent, and as well as somebody who was trying to get rid. They try to like get him off the ballots. They try to do everything. So what's left for them to do if they really? Because I think they really believe that he's going to do what he says he's going to do. That's for me either that or it is the greatest game of chess ever. Okay, make sure you are still a fence setter. You can lean a little bit. It's windy. Lean to the side, but keep your feet on that top rung of the fence and realize that, because maybe it is the flip, and we're gonna run into some Senator Palpatine, which he already looks like the dude. But just be just it's for me, it's different factions of the hidden government. Do you really think in your heart of hearts oh, do you think in your heart of heart that Biden has actually been running the show? He can't even ride a bike. He can't even walk up a flight of steps.
Mm-mm.
He can't even have a coherent sentence. You know? Yeah. So whatever that is actually running the show is really holding on. Hi, what's up? Sin, what's up, baby?
Sin, hello.
Is actually holding on the with all their dear might. And the more you sometimes squeeze something to try to make a diamond, the more it turns you.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people have a lot of stuff that they can say about Cheeto Daddy, but it the man is what he is. I mean, he's a man, and all people are fallible. You know, I'm not really big one way or the other on like any of them actually. I'm really not. I'm not a fan of either one. But if I had to take my pick right now, I
That's a
would
good
say
place to be.
yeah, I feel a little safer with Cheeto Daddy than I do, the Night Stalker.
All right.
That
He's from Wisconsin. Do not be racially biased.
Oh my God. So it is interesting that they did find that there were drones staking out, you know, President-elect Cheeto Daddy's golf course, though. I don't know if they were trying to get a hole in one or what, but either way, um, they were definitely floating above the golf course at one point. So maybe they're fans. Maybe they voted. I don't know. Are you talking about the link
Just pointing
for
at the
Sin's?
Sins paranormal.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely,
make sure you
100%.
sign to Sin's link. She's awesome. She's a good friend of both of our shows, as well as us as people. Let's give a shout out at the same time to Austin. Uh, I
Definitely.
always want to say Austin Reeves or Austin Rivers or Austin Powers, but Austin Lawrence. It's one of those names that is out the paranormal files. What's it called? What's it called? Dead Chronicles. The Dead Chronicles is coming out. Keep an eye on that, and check out Eric has the Night House. You can go up there and do some paranormal investigating. I'm sure there's a lot of paranormal investigators like to watch this show. I think it's like $25 a pop, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully, I don't. Just make sure you check it first. Don't take my word on that. And as well as our good friend Mark Elliott Foltz. These are like it's like a little group of people that we've come into contact with who have been just awesome,
Absolutely.
very supportive of our shows. We're very supportive of what they do. Uh, and they are incredible people. And the Sin is on here. Yes, Austin Lawrence equals Dead Chronicles. Really cool stuff. And you got to hear about, you can go back and check out my show with Austin to see what Mark, this is a rubber band, guys, to see what Mark did for Austin when it came
And
to finding some missing graves. Some pretty cool stuff.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, so Sin, don't isn't there an event coming up at Night House? What was the event coming up there? There's we talked about just a few moments ago, actually, before the show started, uh, that there is a open first public hunt. Okay, good deal. Yeah, yeah. And that one is coming up on the 24th. Is that right? 24th of January. Uh, they're at the Night House. So if you have some time off during then, it's a good time to go. I do want to just kind of give a quick shout out to um, the upcoming. Fisher needs to be in here to talk about this actually. The upcoming yeah thing in January on the 4th. The documentary. That's what I'm trying to think about. The movie, the premiere coming up in Coleman, Alabama on January the 4th. I know, right? Um, like I said, Fisher knows a lot more about that than I do. Although I am planning on dropping into that, I actually requested off
Oh,
for that
yeah.
week. Yeah, yeah, it's a big deal. It's going to be a big thing.
So you're going to actually meet up with Fisher?
Possibly, yeah. May actually finally get a chance
We got to
to
do that.
meet
We
him
got to have a
personally.
union somewhere. We're going to go
I
up to
feel that.
Pam's house in wherever the hell she is, North Dakota. We should all fly to North Dakota, and then Pam makes us a turkey dinner, and with all that tryptophan, we just sleep with with our like 1800s stocking, like our nightcaps and our little candles and our long like socks, and when we snore, like they go in and out. That's going to be a fun time. Pam, we got to make that happen.
Right. So yeah, it's the Cryptid Expeditions, The Land Between the Lakes on January the 4th. So I will be there for that.
Oh, thank you, Pam.
Uh, uh, I'm going to be front and center there and donning my Magickal Journey gear. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing some shameless self promotion there at that event and getting to know people as well, and looking forward to seeing other people there as well that I've not met or know yet. Um, South Dakota. We're gonna all head over to South Dakota to do the
Yeah,
sleepover.
it's really funny. If, when you think of the word South you always think of warm, and Pam's in South Dakota, and we know like right now the polar bears are up there drinking hot cocoa, and I'm down here in Mexico.
Right, right.
That's where my brain goes all the time. Relic Films, there it is.
Yeah, yeah. Greg Ogle's another person I need to get on the show at some point. Because I feel like
Been
he
thinking
is
about it myself.
definitely,
Yeah, I've been thinking about it myself.
yeah, yeah. He's been around for a minute, and he is really a good source as far as all things cryptids go. And I gotta tell you guys, going
Okay.
along with cryptids, I want to just kind of give it a heads up really quickly, uh, that one of the things that I will be covering for 2025 is cryptids in Chicago and St. Louis. Um, so it's come across my desk a couple of times that there was a dogman sighting in St. Louis over by the Arch. Um, I've not done a lot of research on that yet, but
I've been to the
there's
Arch.
yeah, yeah. So apparently there was a dogman sighting like right at the Arch, and also a possible dogman sighting slash werewolf sighting on Lakeshore Drive in Chicago is another thing that's come across my desk recently, as well as the Chicago Mothman sighting flap from 2017 through 2021. Uh, those are things that I'm going to
Oh,
be really, yeah, yeah. For, dude, I'm telling you,
what's the
like,
difference between? I haven't had this clarified to me yet by. I haven't had this clarified to me by any, any eyewitnesses or anybody who's had this experience. What is the difference between a dogman and a werewolf?
so, Tom, I would like to know that myself. The description given in this sighting on Lakeshore Drive talks about a creature that appears to be humanoid with a lot of wolf-like characteristics going on, opposed to being a like a wolf type humanoid creature. Which, when people discuss the
With human
dogman,
characteristics,
yeah,
like a wolf
the with
human characteristics. Okay.
yeah. So and apparently the sighting, which was around 4 o'clock in the morning on Lakeshore Drive, on State South Lakeshore Drive. Apparently the lady who saw this one said that it looked almost like a nude male, who was in the process of transforming into a wolf. Um,
Oof.
yeah. So to be honest with you, I'm not really sure exactly what the criteria is for, distinguishing between the two so much. Uh, but I gotta tell you, like, honestly, the thing that is very interesting to me is the Mothman sightings. A lot of those, many of those, Tom, this will be interesting to you, I'm sure. Many of those Mothman sightings was were centered around a place called Little Village, which is heavily um, Hispanic. It's very like the Latino population over in Little Village is very heavy. Um, so there
Okay.
was a lot, and that's where about 50% of those sightings were at, which I found very interesting. Um, and these were the Mothman sighting, opposed to the giant owl sighting, which is a whole different thing in itself. Um, what is that?
Ah, there it is. Sin cleared it up for us. Dogman is its own creature. Werewolf is a human that changes into a human that changes into a werewolf. Ooh, thank you. So it's like it's
Yeah,
okay. But if they're My question is when they're in their form, when the Wolfman or the Wolfman, that's another one. When the werewolf is in the werewolf phase, how do you distinguish between the werewolf and a dog man? That's where I
Hmm. That's a very interesting question in itself. Very good question. Hmm. I don't know.
I know this is
I'm gonna have
unprofessional. I know this is professional, but she's got these little mini donuts right here. I'm going to try one.
to. It's okay, Tom. It's perfectly okay. Um, the legs can be
I
different
have
on both.
weaknesses too, Daniel,
Right?
and
We are all
chocolate is one of
human.
them.
I feel you. I just emptied a whole box of milk duds this morning. I'm not even going to talk about it. Like I
Oh goodness, I
obliterated
haven't
a
had those in so
whole.
long.
I literally
Dog
obliterated
man
a
has a
box
human
of milk.
body, but a dog's have. Okay, thank you. See, San Schrader Hill is a bastion of good information. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that.
Some have a tail, some do not. And I, I, I have not thought
Oh,
about
we
that. But
better
you're
say we.
right.
We.
I have, yeah, I have not thought about that until you said that. But yeah, you're right. Some do and some have tails. It's very interesting to me because so one of the stories from out of Little Village in particular, uh, there's they talk about a bat-like creature. They talk about a giant owl, and then they reference Mothman and all of that. So it's very interesting. Of course, from
Mm.
the culture itself that there's specific, like, one of the things that one of them described it as was almost like a goblin kind of creature. Um, I'm not really sure. I don't remember the exact name that they used, but it was in
It's like
Spanish, and
they call okay the owls, and at least in the Mexican culture, as far as I know, an owl is a harbinger of like bad, malicious things to come.
Mhm.
And if you remember back in the episode where I had James Fake on, where he talked about the 10-foot owl with the 25-foot wingspan that attacked him, that because the Mothman hasn't, as far as I know, it hasn't been a picture hasn't been taken of it so far. But if so, maybe when people are hearing, because I don't know the community well, and I do know that some people in America still aren't proficient in English, as I am not in Spanish. That there could be a link there, me, where the Mothman is one of these giant owls, and the giant owl is seen, at least Latin America, but at least in the Mexican culture, it is seen as, a like I was saying, a harbinger of bad things to come. So like if people see owls, they're like, get it out of here, or they try to actually take care of it, for lack of a better word, which is why I haven't seen any owls here yet, because they don't want them around. They don't want them around, and it's just very interesting that large owl is seen as something bad. And in America now, we're starting to hear, like, between you and I, it keeps popping up every once in a while, these large owls. We're talking, guys, we're talking large owls. We're talking anywhere between 4 to 10 feet is what I've heard. And
Yeah.
it's just the damnedest thing to hear about.
Mhm. It really is. It very much is because the like you said, the owl is seen as a harbinger of bad news, bad experiences. In uh, in First Nation culture, the owl is seen as a roaming spirit, or the spirit of ancestors coming about. So it is very interesting to see the owl and to uh, see the representation of it in our current history, especially. Now, what I'm curious about though is why it keeps showing up in the Chicago area and why all the cryptids are
It's
showing up
also
in
it's also in the $1 bill, guys. If you look at the back of the $1 bill,
it is. It is. Now that you said that, it is.
right?
Wow, yeah. Yeah. That's creepy in itself. Um, I find it all very interesting, the symbolism. Yeah,
With the all-seeing
exactly.
eye and all that crazy shit on the back of our money is free.
Oh yeah, but the symbolisms on the money is frightful. It really is. Um, one of the things that I'm always reminded of is the heavy connection between the Latter-day Saints and uh, symbolism and currency and so forth. Uh, you know, there's
Always
a
love
lot.
I always love your take. Like you and I approach things so differently. We approach differently. Like you will find like this in German eine Fada, you find like a string that I would never even look at. It's like, oh, it's over there. I don't know it exists. And then Dan was always like, did you know there's a connection between the Latter Day Saints? I'm like, where did you get that from?
So
He's such an interesting sometimes. I don't know. What do you do at work all day? You just sit there and look at conspiracy theories?
so to be fair, I need to fill in the blank here. Like I have an ancestor who was it, he was not a direct ancestor. He was actually a cousin of my direct ancestor. He was heavily involved with the Mormons at the very beginning with Joseph Smith. He was actually um, he went on mission with Joseph Smith's brother. I'm talking about Reynolds Cahoon. So he did his mission with Joseph Smith's brother. He was a member of the Council of the 50, which was part of their job was to literally go around to all of the church members and ask them specific questions. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you reading your Book of Mormon daily? Are you doing this daily? And so forth. And so Reynolds Cahoon was actually charged with going to Joseph Smith himself and asking him, the questions about doing the sacred duties. So he was a big deal. And I say that to say this. So he wrote his journal is actually considered one of the most important documents in our history. And it's actually listed in, I think it's the Smithsonian Institute and the Library of Congress as one of the most important documents in history, culturally and otherwise. Um, so there's a lot of information in his journal about the Latter-day Saints. He was there at the time of Joseph Smith's execution. He moved with Brigham Young to Salt Lake City and began the work there in Salt Lake City. So the Cahoon bloodline in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is really a big deal. He did eventually leave the church. His I think his son actually is the one who continued the journal at the point where they were leaving the church. But there's a lot of symbolism. The whole point of Joseph Smith's execution, uh, the church had come under heavy fire in Illinois, and there in Illinois, of course, they took Joseph Smith, his brother Hiram, and several of the saints captive, put him in jail. The big reason behind that was that Joseph Smith aspired to be a Mason. He was very much into the Masonic
Okay.
theology and so forth. Uh, Joseph Smith uh, gave the orders to erect a temple, and the Mormon temple is very much set up like a Masonic temple. A lot of the same symbolisms, a lot of the rites and clothing and so forth are all very much uh, aligned with Mason theology and Mason styling. So it was because of the controversy with the Masonic temple versus the Mormon temple that that the folks in Illinois were like, okay, we're done. We draw the line here. And of course, um, wait a minute, what?
What's PR? What's PR press release? I don't know what PR is.
the the uh, the bottom line though is that uh, there's the theory is that Joseph Smith was executed as a result of the oh yeah, there's a lot of black rabbit holes here. uh, Lotus, it just gets deeper and deeper, and it just piles higher and higher too. So put on some booze. Um, the big thing to
Yeah.
know about, like, and here's one of the things that recent presidents of the church has mandated for the church to do in the past. Like in 1980, the reigning president at that time mandated to the church to buy up as much property as you can get a hold of in America. This included businesses as well as actual dirt. And the point of that was for to own as much of America as could be at the time.
Sounds like Bill Gates.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So there's several companies that are Mormon owned now because of that. A lot of property that is Mormon owned because of that mandate. And ultimately, what they were trying to do was establish New Zion here, which is, of course, part of the Mormon prophecy. And then, you know, there was the point where we had a Mormon candidate for president going up against President Obama, uh, and of course that aligned with some prophetical letter that Joseph Smith had written about uh, having a Mormon president at some point, uh, which became a big deal and was
They
one of the
tried that with,
reasons.
I think that was Mitt Romney, wasn't it? Mitt Romney was
It
a Mormon,
was,
if I
it
believe,
was.
if I'm not
Yeah, he
mistaken.
would. Yeah, I think it was Romney that they tried that with, and he was the prophetical letter. Basically, it was sort of along the lines of the White Buffalo prophecy in a way. Um, if you're familiar with that from the First Nation,
Dude, no, I don't know any of that stuff, dude. You have to,
it is
you have to
deep.
understand, guys. There's people who are watching the show right now who like are just as intrigued with the information that you're bringing forth as I am. I'm basically sitting here just staring at a screen, going, "I didn't know this stuff. This is
Yeah,
bit. Look, we were talking about, you were like, oh, I am the reason why you started doing what you're doing now. But you've always had this within you. You just needed to find the thing or the medium in which to put it forth. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you just like some kind of weird treasure trove of just the odd facts. You're like, did you know that gold is like when you take alchemy, right? Okay. Let's go back. Let's go into the guy who created like calculus. What is now Isaac Newton? Isaac Newton. It's got an I and an S in it, and it just keeps going. And it's like, dude, this is all do your own research. But it's like you always are really good at that. And this is what I do, guys. And this is what he does. You'll see there's a difference in our formats and our styles, although we generally bring forth the same concept in the end. Uh, it's just like it's like I'm an audience member right now, and I don't mean that way in any sense of the word. But you just start going. People say rabbit holes. I'm kind of tired of that word. I'm tired of the veil. I want to have some new words, because it's an Alice in Wonderland reference. Can we like go with like the Big Lebowski? Can we just talk about the dude said or something crazy like that? let's use some other like
Right.
terminology.
Right. Um, you're right. We do have very interesting differences in way we go about things. The conclusion again is always pretty much on target though, and that is,
Yes,
yeah, the
pretty
form. I mean,
much.
the form of. Let's talk about the form of the forbidden for a moment. Um, this is a good example
Oh
of,
God, Jimmy,
right
Jimbo.
here he at. He's off eating Doritos somewhere and frying some Hawaiian spam. What's up? Um,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know,
know. I still don't understand that, but that's his thing. And
yeah, the form of the forbidden is a
oh,
very,
there it is. Spirit medium Daniel.
yeah.
Hello, hello, Daniel. People can understand their own lives, let alone understand the veil. Ooh, all right,
I
dude.
mean, it's kind of true.
You know what? But I like that. I enjoy the mere fact that I don't understand whatever this is right now. Whatever this is, like the mere fact that I'm sitting here talking to another life form across from me, and I'm moving my words and doing it in a certain, and you guys are listening as well, and we're able to communicate and conjure up concepts and ideas about this existence is a layer below the layer which everyone else is on. Where to listen to Britney Spears. I'm going to use 2000s references, guys. Just roll with me. And
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera and yeah, and I want to say Godsmack, which is also that time, but there's another one I can't think of the name right now. Hey, now you're an all-star. Those guys.
Oh yeah.
That's the layer in which everyone kind of resides in. People don't like the term NDE, but then there's the layer that we talk about, which people are like, start to slowly like filter down into, like what is going on, especially with the COVID, and we talked about all these things. But the mere fact that we exist, and that is a mystery when it's within itself, and it makes people uncomfortable, but it shouldn't. Cool and weird at the same time. I don't know how to explain that. I enjoy the mere fact that I exist. It's beautiful. It's difficult, but at the same time, what else would you want to do? What else is there? Like, if you didn't exist right now, what would you be doing? Just like a rock on a beach somewhere? Like, would the beach exist, or does it exist in your mind? Like, it's things like that I love. Thank you, Spirit Medium. Okay, back to the form of forbidden. So, what is it about? What do we do in the form of forbidden, Daniel?
So in the form of the forbidden,
Okay.
we discuss some things that are uh, considered controversial at times.
Smash
We
Mouth.
deep, yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
Thank you, Sin.
we deep dive into.
That's
Now
a
I'm going to have Smash
Godsmack.
Mouth going through. Right, right. Um, what are some of the topics we've talked about recently? Uh,
Okay.
the the Vegas shooting. What else? We had
440 tuning, 440
yeah.
tuning, the 335 tuning. We talked. Yeah, there was also what's the one that Jim was. You're next up, I believe. Uh, Pam picked that one too, the 440 tuning one, which was a very interesting one for me. I enjoyed the bad tuning, which turns out to be maybe that I'm messed up in my head. What was it one that Jim just did that was so crazy? Oh yeah, Project Month. We just did that one.
Oh
Just a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
interesting stuff. and we come from different perspectives. I'm more of maybe Eastern, I guess, in the brevity of us three. I'm maybe a little more Eastern, like in the way I go about things, like Eastern mysticism, like like life, love, reincarnation, but not really. But at the same time, still being myself. I hope. I don't know how to describe whatever it is that I do because it sounds weird to do that about yourself, to talk to your about yourself in the third person. What are you, a piece of shit? I can't do that. And then magical is more. Um, it's a little more earth, which I really meet with him in that area as more like magical based, and then Jim is like straight up, Christian, but we always seem to come to like this understanding that we love each other and we love everybody around us, and we have our own takes on it, and we have a lot of fun when we do them, and they kind of pop up sporadically, due to our schedules, our work schedules, and but they're quite fun.
They really are. They are very fun. Uh, I do have the next one, and I don't have a clue what I'm doing yet. Honestly, I have not thought that far ahead.
You pick the subject, and we will be there.
Good deal. Good deal. Um, yeah. So the form of the forbidden is definitely one of those combined effort shows that is it's challenging, it's fun, and sometimes it can be a little bit scary. Um, when you do the research on it, uh, on some of the topics. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking is he's probably doing the Christmas, the holiday thing.
So
I gotta tell you guys,
thing
I'm
with
not doing.
his family. Shout out to Jim.
Yeah, shout out to Fisher Spam, the Night Watch, definitely. Um, I am not really excited about the holidays at all this year. Actually, they're just like I've completely written it off for this year. It's too much. I just can't. Um, so this year, my goal, my focus for the holiday week is to just do work on this, the website. Got some, like I said, some more bookings to do. Uh, yeah, I am not feeling it this
Yep.
year. It is a source of frustration and anxiety, and I can't. This year is just a no go. Uh, I'm going to be
Oh, you mean?
focusing.
Oh, okay. You mean Christmas?
Yeah, yeah. It's just it's not working for me this year. It's just not working for me. Uh, and like I said, I got so much stuff on it
I used to be
with
a
the
big
channel.
fan, and then I started watching what it really turned into instead of what it's supposed to be. Even through
Mhm,
the idealistic concept of being Christian. For me, it's Yuletide because of my European ancestry. It's about the changing of the season for when the sun when it rises for 3 days in the same spot. The sun rises from the dead. These things, these concepts, the Christians just kind of came along and took that and said, nope, that's in our book now. So I don't really do the Christian thing, the Christmas thing. This is the first time I've had a tree in my house in 20 something years because I was married to a woman who's quite atheist. I was too for a very long time, but it's fun to look at. I mean, I enjoy it. It's festive, it's warm. I enjoy the feeling that people want to give to one another. But when it becomes like the thing of all the gift giving and pay, like, putting stuff on credit and then it
mhm.
goes into the garbage 3 weeks later, I don't like any of that. I do enjoy the family get together and kind of recapping the year and trying to spread goodwill to all mankind, those kind of things. I much more enjoy like Halloween, uh and uh I I don't really like New Year anymore either. It's just a bunch of drunk people lighting off fireworks. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I much more enjoy, like, actually, and this is the honest truth, is talking to you guys. I Fire Lotus the Witch. Maybe one day you can come on my show. We can discuss some things. Or Sin, you're definitely going to be back on. That's not even an issue. Let's schedule one actually. Sin, I'll write you. I don't know. I don't really get into it, but since my girlfriend, who is also native, she's a Native American. They're known as Mayans. And she is as Mayan as they come, guys, with the short neck and the wide shoulders and the long arms. Very beautiful. But she's Catholic and she gets into it, and I love her and I enjoy being with her. So in that sense, and my daughter really likes it. So she enjoys like wrapping up the presents and getting presents, and I want to enjoy that with her. But like for me personally, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of stress for no reason when it's supposed to be like something much more profound than what it's turned out to be.
Yeah, the best thing the
Yeah,
best
Yule,
news I've
dude.
had in a while, the very best news I've heard in a while was when they finally put Black Friday down and got it out of our misery. Um, all of the senseless rioting and just vile behavior that came with Black Friday sales. So,
I don't
I
like it.
mean, oh my goodness. So I started
Dude,
out in retail.
go ahead, please.
And
You read first. You read first about Black Friday, and then I'm gonna go.
so I started out in retail March of 20, well, March of 2000. And so my very first Christmas was the Christmas of 2000. And it was my first time to really deal with Black Friday up close and personal. Now I worked at Target, and we had an overnight stock process. We called it the flow team. Um, my manager had a flatbed of these portable radios that all we were supposed to do was push him out the door and let the folks shop them. He was so scared to go out on the floor with these things. He literally took his foot and kicked the flatbed out the door. And you would have thought that he was like throwing meat to bears. It was a shit show. That's the best I can say about it. With people jumping in there on top of the freaking flatbed and everything else jumping up to get these stupid radios. And I
Uh-huh.
shook my head and I was like, this is not what I want to sign up for. And I did that for 6 years, 6 years of being at Target and what
Mm.
going through the Black Friday madness, and just watching the hostility and the violence, name calling. Um, I remember the one year that really impressed me.
Wow.
Um, my niece and I we were in Ohio to visit my eldest brother, who was still alive at the time. And I don't remember exactly where it was. It was like Cincinnati, I think, is where we were at. And we went to one of I think it was a Target there, to do some shopping that night. And there were guys that were standing there unwrapping pallets of stuff for people to shop. And some of the shoppers, like really tall guys, got in the front of the line, and they were like reaching up to the very top where most people couldn't get to, and getting boxes and handing it down to people to pass out to the people behind them, which I thought was extremely beautiful and warm and just very true to Christmas kind of thing to do. But that was the first time I saw any kindness, any human heart in Black Friday at all. So I was so glad when they got rid of all of that, those
Oh,
antics.
okay. I remember when they came out with that Tickle Me Elmo doll, and everyone was beating each other over the head to get
Oh
to a
God,
doll that
yeah.
kind of goes, "Eh, heh, heh, heh." that was like, you have to understand the amount of like training and like, I'm gonna say something. You all look at the love. This is not going to be love that's going to come out of me right now. It's more of disgust, and I do have that within me. Let's be honest. But like, if you're going to name call, whether it be racially or like, I don't like you, or you're going to run over children to get to a tickle me Elmo doll or whatever else they put out there in the last 20 years, you need to find the closest beach, the closest lake, the closest body of water, river, walk it about 100 yards and breathe in deeply, because I don't want to be understand that mindset at all. But the conditioning that you need to have to want to hurt another human for something that somebody sewed up on the other side of the world using, some awful, like, below age people to sew them up for nothing, or for some labor that we wouldn't be involved in. You need to reconcile your connection with your creator, with the people around you, your community, yourself, and breathe in deeply. I cannot understand for the life of me that at all. That's why I don't really, and it's not, and I was disgusted by it for many, many years. So I didn't buy a Christmas present, and this is no joke, guys. I didn't buy a Christmas present until last year, and I couldn't afford one, so it was like a coffee mug or some shit. This year, I got a couple things for my daughter. I got one of those old school Nintendos with like 600 games. So she's, old Mario Brothers, good games that are actually fun. Instead of, oh my God, there's ghost around me or something like that. Let's do that in the paranormal field. Let's actually go out and find these ghosts and really get scared, because I would be. But yeah, I never bought Christmas presents. I thought it was silly. I'll go to your, I'll cook dinner with you guys. I've actually cooked dinner and took it to my in-laws' house when I was married. I've done all that. I have no problem with that. But I always told them, don't buy me a gift. Mm-hmm. If you want to do something for me for Christmas, let's hang out together. Let's enjoy a meal. Let's talk. Let's watch a movie together. Let's go take a walk outside. Let's do some stuff like that. But the rest of it it's just not what it's supposed to be. And I'm not even Christian, guys. That's what's crazy about it. And you guys are supposedly Christians and will hit another Christian over the head with your fist to get a Tickle Me Elmo doll.
Right.
To quote my father, get a life.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Ridiculous. I mean, you really are. You're very right. And so I fall into the category of people who prefer to.
Who's Tim? Denise, who's Tim? She wrote, Tim. Okay, Tom. Okay, yes, Tim.
Wow.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. I fall into the realm of people who really prefer celebrating solstice or Yule, the return of the sun, the return of light, and
yes,
getting away from
the
whole. Because here's the thing, I had people this year messaging me going, "What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? What do you want?" You know what? I literally had to go through and purge a lot of stuff when we moved into this new house, or this house. It's not that new, because it's a smaller space for one thing, and and so I had to go through and purge a lot of stuff as it was. Really, the only things that I'm looking for myself personally are things that are going to up the ante on podcasting. So, like I want, to upgrade equipment and stuff like that, be able to cover the expense of, some of the programs and so forth that we use to generate images and video and all that.
All you want for Christmas is subscribers.
right, right. You know, and
All I want
subscriber.
for Christmas is some subs.
Exactly. Some subs would be great there. Shelly,
Hello,
hey, how
Shelly.
are you doing? Um, more subs would definitely
Yeah,
be a good thing.
some interaction.
Uh,
Talk to us. We love it. We enjoy it. Feedback,
right,
good or bad,
right.
feedback. I mean, don't be mean, but I've had, oh man, you're doing well when you start getting that bad feedback. Oh man, oof. I've,
Oh
I've gotten
yeah,
some.
yeah.
I go, like when they touch home, like oof, those. It's and some people are not. I got to be honest with you, but sometimes you talk too much, and I go, okay, but that's fine. I'm down with all the feedback. That's cool. Just don't be mean. But if it's poignant, those are the ones that hurt more than anything. But yeah, we just want. I just want to have a strong community. That's what I want for Christmas, guys. I want you guys to share our podcast. If everyone goes to your personal page on YouTube, Reddit, wherever you get, not Reddit, that's a dumpster fire, but wherever it is that you do your social media, take Daniel's channel, take Jim's channel, take my channel. Go ahead and everybody laughing. There's a delay, guys, so it's like a little weird sometimes. Just go ahead and take that, grab that, and just say, hey, these are some cool guys that have some cool discussions. Why don't you come over and join us? That's what I would like for Christmas, because that is the gift of giving. Because we get to meet, without the podcast, I wouldn't have met. Dude, that's the thing that I think is the best part of it. Like and it really is. Okay,
It is.
through me doing what I did or still continue to do, I got to meet you. I got to meet Jim. I got the most wonderful, kind, honest person you'll ever meet. I got to meet like Sin and Austin and Eric and Mark and just a countless amount of people
Mhm.
that I wouldn't have gotten the chance to meet without doing what I do. So that's the best part of it. That's been my Christmas present all year long. So don't send me any cheeses. I don't want no gift basket. I don't want a drone. I want you to make a Eye of Jupiter flag and put your face on it like this. A Magickal Journey flag and flex on top of it and then paste it on your building. That'd be funny. Dude, that's
Right.
been for me the whole, like, it turned into the reason. It just started as a general interest of mine, like, what is all this stuff, because you've had personal experiences, I've had personal experiences, and we just kind of like want to like talk about them because we're pretty good at what we do. I hope because the ability to talk is important. You're more of a note taker, I'm more of a gabber, but and then you have to run into people who've had these experiences, and then like there's some who's like maybe I've had a couple was like the first time they've talked about them, or maybe the second time they talked about them, and they feel all I want is eyebrows. Shelly, would you like to divulge what happened? Did you draw them back on, or was there a camping accident? What happened? You out there looking for Bigfoot and burnt your eyebrows off? What happened?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so yeah, that's I can't even finish my thought. Anyway, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, the thing
Hi, Daniel.
first, the people are definitely like all the people that I've met through interviewing, through just through social media. There's folks like, I mean, we haven't mentioned Harley yet. Harley is one of the guys who Harley Owens.
No, Harley's freaking fantastic.
He's amazing. He is amazing. Um, I absolutely
Yeah.
love him. I had a bit of a conversation with him tonight. I'm getting him on the show. He has told me he will definitely
Oh, you did?
book the show with me. I
He's coming back.
haven't. I haven't. Yeah, he's coming back. He's actually back already. Um, I have not officially booked him, but he has said that he definitely wants to do a show with me coming up. So that he will be booked for next year. Um, you know, of course,
I've spoken with him. I've called him up and then talking with Harley. I've spoken with Harley after what happened, whatever did happen. You know, it's his own business, but he seems to be doing pretty well. And yeah, dude, he was one of the guys that he contacted me back before I even started the show. I was on the other one, and we hit it off. And he showed me his stuff, and I was just like blown away. This guy is a legit researcher, a really sweet guy, and he's just trying to do the best he can out there. And I love him as well. He's great.
he really is. And I gotta tell you, like he shared some stuff with me recently that I'm looking at and kind of exploring because it it's very telling and very interesting photos that it's actually screen grabs from videos that he showed me that
Oh yeah, he sent
I'm
them
working
to me
on.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to talk about them, of course, but they're
yeah, no,
the
they
one
are
dude.
they're
It's so
very
good. It's
exceptional.
so good.
It's very exceptional stuff. Um, Along with that, I've had the pleasure of meeting in person uh, from the Tennessee Wildman Conference in McMinnville, Tennessee. Um, Daryl Denton and Martin Grove, amazing people. I can't even begin to like. I was so blown away by listening to Martin's story and him adding some stuff in there some details in there he hasn't added before. Uh, and of course, Daryl,
Oh
anytime
wow.
get the opportunity to talk to him and have a conversation is absolutely amazing. Both of them are
Sweetheart.
stellar
I
people.
love Daryl.
They really are. They're stellar people. I've got the chance to meet Hellbent Holler and again, really, really amazing, beautiful people. The
The chat is lighting up right now today. You guys are killing it over there.
Yeah, the chat has been bumping tonight. I appreciate that, and I thank you guys for it. Uh, definitely a false flag situation, Daniel. You're correct about that. I totally believe that. Um, yeah, that was the thing with Harley was that he had the Bigfoot encounter and then had that creepy, creepy dogman encounter, like back to back within just months of each other.
Yeah.
Um, One of the other things I
Yeah.
want to mention about about podcasting, and I think this is uh, probably for me one of the big take homes with it is not only do you meet some amazing people and get some really great people on your team, but it gives you the opportunity to grow uh, on creative levels, on intellectual levels. Like I gotta tell you, my research, oh my gosh, I got stacks of notes on one side, stacks of books on the other. I've got you know hard copy books, I've got
I got
PDFs, I've got all kinds of things.
coffee,
Yeah.
cologne.
I feel you. I got those things too going on, but it's like the things um
Busy, dude.
that oh, I feel you. So very busy, but I gotta tell you, like,
Oh wow.
honestly,
I
what?
didn't know that.
What?
Pamela, yeah, I'm sorry. Pamela wrote, Daryl Denton brought me into the YouTube community last December 2023. If not for Daryl, I wouldn't be here. And I gotta
Oh,
be honest with
wow.
you, when I first started my show back in 23, I he reached out to him, and he answered immediately and came on immediately. And we had a live, me and him, and it was so good. It was one of my favorite lives I've done. He's just he has a very deep voice. He's a huge guy. He's like what 6'4", 6'5",
Oh
something like
yeah,
this. He's taller than I am.
he's
He's got this
power.
big, deep voice, but it's also a southern drawl to him. But you can tell he's such a gentle person, such a kindred spirit. But
Hmm.
he has really had these encounters, and he created his great group. What's the name of the group, Pam? If you can pull it up, I can never remember it. It's a huge group. It's like 50,000 followers on there. And
Oh
you
yeah,
should,
it's
if
ridiculously
I'm always looking for a guest, I can always kind of go in the group and look around and dig in the group, and I can find somebody a lot of times. I just had on a guy. Do you remember Poncho? I think Poncho Zorch. It's a pseudonym, but he was on with Paul recently. Paranormal Paul. Go over and subscribe to his channel as well. The Paranormal Among Us, great guy too. He's
definitely.
800
Yeah.
and something subs in, 800 over 850. And he's working his way to 1,000. He's a great guy too. And I had Poncho Zorch on. He's a former military person like myself, and his experiences. That one's a pre-record. That's coming out. I still got to process. I haven't even done it yet. His dogman experience of what he thinks was a dogman. He thinks it was transitioning because the way he described it was so weird. And I was like, so what makes you think it's a dog man? He goes, I don't know, but I don't want to give away too much because you guys should hear it from the person. But like, I think he's going to be another big member of the group. He's a sweetheart of a guy, really down to earth. And being a former military, he was a staff sergeant in the U.S. military. He was in a Bradley fighting team. He was also an infantry soldier. So for him to come out and say these things, it's not his real name. His name is not Poncho. He's just using it. But he's legit, and he's awesome. He's awesome, and I can't wait for you guys to see that one as well. Bigfoot Believers and Other Creatures. That's the name of the group. That's Daryl Denton's group. Go over and check out that group, guys. If you want to know about cryptids, that's the group to go to. Very good, very good, very good group. There's not a lot of like infighting or none of that silliness that you run into a lot of these groups. It's a very group. They have MK Davis. They have Daryl. They have Martin. There's the people who are like in the forefront of trying to understand this particular part of the phenomenon when it comes to cryptids, which we all
Right. And I just want to throw out there that I actually have confirmation now from Mark uh, that I've got Mark and Sin booked now officially for January the 31st for their show. So that's good news. I'm excited about that. Yay! I'm excited, guys. You don't understand. Like, that is so. Let me just say, shenanigans and debauchery in all kinds of respect to those words. Okay. Um, it will definitely be a show worth checking out. Two very amazing people with a
yeah.
lot of knowledge
If you
and a
guys do
lot of
not know who
chemistry.
Mark, we don't. Sid is a sweetheart. She does a lot of her own investigations. She's really into EVPs. That's her kind of her milieu. If that's milieu, one of those two words. And but Mark, I'm blacked out. Okay, Mark is he's very interesting. He's a little scary because of how his gifts, how strong his gifts are.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
He is like I don't know how to explain it. Like if you're looking for the best donut, and that donut happens to be someone who can talk to like the dead, then he is the Krispy Kreme of dead donuts.
Wow.
That was brilliant.
I am never going to look at donuts the same again.
What the hell was that?
That's amazing. I
Shirt, man. The Krispy Kreme of dead donuts. Oh my god.
I'm wow.
There it is, his books.
Yeah, yeah. Mark is definitely one of the people that I have found to be quite an experience in talking to. Uh, I feel like wow, chat is really blowing up tonight. Uh, I feel
Yeah, it's hard to
like
keep up, isn't it?
it is. Um, you know, Spirit Medium Daniel is another person who I've interviewed. His book is amazing. He has a really uh, great story about his coming into becoming a spirit medium. And when I read the book,
Yes.
I actually had to go back and reread parts of it over again because it was just so detailed in so many ways, and there were little nuances of stuff to pick up again and check out that really gave me a lot of insight. And not only that, but I resonated with parts of it that was very surprising. Um, it wasn't surprising that I resonated with it. It was just the context of it was surprising in a sense, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Um,
Mm.
the with Mark has not only some exceptional gifts, but he also has a sense of humor that is off the charts. Just off the charts.
Yes. Unique.
Look, I
It's a little Jim
can't.
Gaffigan. He has like 3 different little voices that he pulls out sometimes.
Oh my God. So much so.
He has like this, he has a southern twang. So my grandma, we're working on this cookbook, and she was a bitch. It kills me. He makes me laugh so hard, but at the same
Oh,
time, he's frightening to me because of his abilities. It's too real for me. I understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that other people aren't real, but what I am saying is that he has a particular way of this to say, like, oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that he offered me, and I graciously turned it down because it's above my punch power. It's like Mike Tyson and I'm, Glass Joe or something like that. Dudes or um, he offered me because Mark channels he was on my show, guys, twice, 3 times, I can't remember. He offered me the possibility or the opportunity for him to channel the Bell Witch, the Bell Witch. You know what I mean? From was it something Tennessee? I can't think of the name
Adams County, Tennessee. Yeah.
of the town. Um, and then little old me, get to ask him, or no, and I'm just like, dude, thank you so very much for that offer, but that scares the literal crap out of me. I wrote you. I talked to Pam. I talked to Jim. Jim's like, no, Jim. Jim's like, don't do it, Tom. I talked to my girlfriend. I talked to a ton of people. Just like, what would you guys do? Oh, another person we need to recognize is what is it? Go ahead. Let me see if I can think of it. I'm going to find them real quick. Okay, there's so many names, that to
I
thank
get it. There are a lot of names.
for, and he runs a great podcast. Monstrous. Who runs the Monstrous podcast? What is his name? He's in Arkansas.
Pam, I know you got
He's the Bigfoot chapter of Arkansas. I can't think of his name right now. I'm going to look it up. It's Monstrous. I'm looking it up right now.
Prosperity Witch Ellie. You know what, dude? I like Thank you for
Right.
coming in. I got Lotus was in just a little bit ago. I think Lotus may still be around. Um, I've got plans to get you and Lotus booked for a joint show coming up in 2025. So I'm looking forward to that one. I kind of got sidetracked for a second, but definitely, you guys, uh, if you get it, if you want to do,
Robert Prevo, thank you, Pam. Pam.
ah, okay.
But
Wow, yeah,
also, great guy, great podcast, great my show, and dropped. I have a Hatman story. I have a Hatman experience myself. His was outside under a lamppost in like a field or some shit, and it was 7 foot tall. And he turned around and it was still there. Runs a great show. It kind of hits it from a scientific point of view, much more of a skeptical point of view, but not mean. Monstrous podcast, Robert Monstrous podcast, yes. Fantastic guy, and I got to meet him also this year. So it's been quite a whirlwind.
yeah, it's definitely this has been, it really has. So, Shelley, which one of the Daniels are you wanting to ask something? Uh, Spirit Medium Daniel or me? Because there's two of us in the room now. Either way, I'm sure either one of us will be more than happy to answer you.
Phew. I'm so glad my name's not Daniel.
I know, right?
There's smoke from my fingers. Yeah, you're typing away. All the Daniels.
All the Daniels.
Always, yes.
Okay, go for it. Go for it. We can answer this. D1 or D2. Wow. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Pam, you've been doing a lot of link sharing tonight. You're really going for it.
Best moderator in the game, guys. I love to see. I would put her up against anybody, and I'm not saying it's not a competition, whatever, but she's awesome.
Definitely.
I'd like to. Oh,
So you can see are you talking about like manifesting it like an apparition, actually full form?
apparitions.
Um, I have been able to see full forms on more than one occasion, and yeah, I don't think it's as rare as people think to see a full form apparition.
I've seen them. I've seen. I've seen them twice within the last year and a half. I've seen full body apparitions. Or well, one was a full body apparition, another one was a smoke, but I've like a smoky form. But I've seen them too. It's not as rare as you might think, and they're not as scary as you might think. The ones that are scary for me are those disembodied voices. I'm making grilled
Oh
cheese
yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
they say. Those scare the living daylights out of me.
Mark, we were just talking about you. Welcome in, sir. We had a whole conversation about you.
Where's he at? There he is. What's up, dude? Yeah, and how much I love you and you scare me at the same time.
Wow, yeah. There's some like really, really great.
It's
You
kind
guys are just
of like
working
my
those
daddy. I
great
love him and he
moments,
scares me at the same time.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I love you too, buddy.
Wow. Yeah, there's quite a few really,
Yeah,
really good
everyone's on here,
experience.
dude. I think the whole community's here right now.
Yeah, it's like, and I gotta tell you, like tonight, the chat has just been amazing. You guys have really, really made this show flow really well with the comments, and the chat has just been stellar again tonight. It's very interesting to see people's comments about the seeing the full-bodied apparition. That is very, to me, a very interesting. How many people? Before I fell asleep. Ollie, I love you. You're adorable. Oh my God. So let me just say, I like as far as you having experiences where like because I see some crazy stuff sometimes. And by crazy stuff I mean like so
Mm,
I don't know if
Black Friday.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That's definitely crazy. Um so one of the things that has kind of always thrown people off with me is that I see patterns and textures a lot. Um, and by seeing and I guess and also feeling textures, I mean like for me, I even the wind even has a texture, which really seems to throw people off whenever I say things like that. Because there's been a couple of times when I've had conversations with people, uh, and I've mentioned that a certain entity or whatever had this texture or that texture, and they're like, but they don't even have flesh. How can they have a texture? And I'm like, I'm going, dude, you don't understand. Everything has a texture. Um, and I think that's one of those things that is very difficult um, for people to comprehend is the fact that I can actually feel these sorts of things too, uh, with manifestations, with spiritual manifestations. Um, but anyway, with all that, uh, we some of the things that I see sometimes, uh, some of the manifestations that come forth and so forth are like if I said crazy, I mean like literally kind of crazy. Uh, you because like shadow people and stuff like that. And a lot of people were all like, "Oh, shadow people," not as uncommon as you think, and it's really not as for me. Um, I haven't had like a full on hat man trying to like get all in my granola business or anything like that, but when it comes, you know what I'm saying, like because the hat man has no boundaries. He just gets all up in everybody's soup. Um,
You're funny, dude. You have your own unique.
but it's true. I mean, it's like so. But for me, a lot of times, some of the entities that come through and so forth that I see, um, beyond the shadow people, like elementals and stuff like that, can be a little bit, a little bit crazy. I think the Fae probably are the ones that scare me the most when it comes to like actual a full on visual of. I'm not a fan of the Fae. Whenever they come knocking at my door, they kind of creep me out a little bit, because I don't.
Whoa.
I mean, like, let me clarify what I'm saying here, okay? So with the Fae, one of the things about them that creep me out is that, like, don't get me wrong, we have a great understanding. We have a great relationship for the most part. Like they stay in their corner, I stay in mine. Um, but there's a certain amount of there's an agreement that we have between between me and them that um, if you come into my corner, these are the rules that we need to follow and the guidelines we need to follow. And um, and the fake can be a little bit challenging sometimes with that because they want to call the shots on everything, on everything. They want to call the shots and they can be tricksters. So you have to be very careful dealing with them. Um, and that's why they creep me out a little bit because they're they're kind of like the evil stepmother in a way. I mean, they really are. They want to call the shots and they want to be all up in your business. Um, the elementals, you're right, Mark. The elementals are definitely a little freaky sometimes. Although I'm quite fond of the water elementals, to be honest with you. They're kind of my um, spirit animal in a sense, I guess. Um, is the best way to say it. There's just a very strong connection between me and the water elementals. Um, oh God, yeah. I don't even want to talk about the Thunderbirds. They just freak me out. Anything that loud and big is a little bit too much for me. But yeah, there's so when it comes to apparitions, when it comes to visualization of any type of entity, uh, you know, the the one thing that I can say for sure is protection, protection, protection. Always make sure you've got all your ducks in it lined up, and you know that all your ducks are actually ducks when it comes to dealing with those creatures because they can be. Um,
The Goblicon.
what is Goblicon? Now you've got me curious. See, I'm learning a lot of stuff tonight too, Tom. It's like what? Eric is what? A handful. It's a handful. Is that what you're saying, Mike? Is a lot. See, I'm learning all kinds of stuff tonight about some of the cons and stuff for it. Oh, oh, is that in Hopkinsville? You know what they're talking about, Tom?
Yes. I love the way Mark says it. That's exactly how he sounds. Yes.
Right?
My grandmother is a was or however you would say that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So the Hopkinsville
Yes.
incident was basically a night siege, and the it lasted all night long, and it was basically an invasion of sorts. This family in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, they lived often in kind of off the grid in a sense, and apparently they were inundated by a, just a small army of these goblin-like creatures that came from this UFO. And the Hopkinsville incident is probably one of the I would say is probably one of the most strange incidents I've heard of before. And so that is what this GobleCon is all about, is is the Hopkinsville incident. So if you get an opportunity, definitely research the um, Hopkinsville Goblin incident. It was very interesting. Um, I'm a small army myself. I mean, you're not far from wrong. Wow. I'm telling you guys, this has been an amazing show tonight, and I feel very blessed that this has been an amazing show. A lot of really good comments in the chat, a lot of good chat. I can't, I'm not hearing you. I can't hear you. Oh, wow.
Found it. Yay.
There, oh, wow.
I accidentally
There
muted
you
my
are.
mic.
I wondered, I kept going, what is he saying? What's going on? What am
Ooh,
I
anybody want
missing?
pizza? The guy
Right?
outside. He drives by every he rides by every night on a bike with a little box on the front and he says, Pizza, pizza. And then tamale escalados, which is flat tamales. There's different kinds of tamales. I didn't learn that until
Oh,
I got
yeah, yeah.
down here. Yeah, dude,
Wow.
it's been quite the show, dude. Quite the show for a wrap up of the year. I want to personally thank everyone in the chat tonight. Yes, pizza. I want to personally thank everyone in the chat tonight. I want to thank you so much for inviting me on, and I'm really looking forward to what you're having coming up on your show. And of course, I will be involved, and we're gonna be doing this together. You're currently like somewhere around 200 and something subs, 220, something like that, and that's pretty good,
Mm,
man. Only being what 3 months, October, November, December, 3 months in. Actually doing the full time podcast. That means that people are connecting with you. And I told you when I met you, I was like, yeah, I think you would be good at this. And turns out that I happen to be right. And I'm glad that I am.
we are officially, as of right now, at 223. So thank you guys for that. I really appreciate that a lot
222.
because
I am a fish. I am, I don't know if you can see that. Well, you can't because 1005. And I've been there since I've gotten 1,000. I think YouTube, once you get there, they're like, that's enough. It's between 1005 and 6, and it just keeps going up and down, back and forth. But in the end, it doesn't matter. It's just a number. It's kind of true. But I just want to see the thing is I just want to see you get big, dude, because people need to hear the way you do and conduct your business and conduct your interview with your guests. You're very heartfelt. Sometimes you can be even quite emotional, like when you had on Michael Cameron. Yeah, you actually got
oh
quite
my
emotional
God.
because his story is so so heavy, uh, and he's such a warrior. He's such a soldier, and that you have on. And I wish all the back. Yeah,
Yeah,
when
I
we
gotta
come
tell
back next year, this time you will easily be over that mark, and it's just
I hope. I really hope. I know I will. I feel like it. I gotta tell you though, honestly, yeah, Michael, I love Michael. I really do. He's become
I
a huge part
I
of
know
my
it too.
a huge part of my world. And you're right. His story absolutely tears me up. There are parts of his book that I just cannot um, without. just going into waterworks. But yeah, um, tonight has definitely been amazing.
Mm.
And again, thank you, Tom, for showing up tonight. You guys in chat have just blown it away. Like poor Pam, I can just that's been a race tonight, girl, to get all those links up as quickly as you have. Um, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If Pam's going to get, he's doing what she does for us. Thank you, Sen. You're amazing too, baby. Mark, you
Oh
too, buddy.
yeah,
Pam,
you
Shelly,
all
Spirit Medium Daniel. Hope to see you over on my channel. And you get to check out some of the things I do as well. You guys are great. Appreciate it so much.
definitely, definitely so. Um, and just know that you you are all loved and appreciated, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Tom, any closing remarks before you head out?
Yeah, just if you guys are interested in what Magickal does, I do a little bit different than he does. We're both kind of like versions of Beverly 210 and 90210 and the other one, the spinoff, but I don't know who's who. It doesn't really matter. Later, buddy. He's Matthew Perry, and I'm the woman. I don't know, the one with the dark hair, the mean one. But yeah, just go over and check out my channel, guys. You can find me on Rumble as well. You can find me over on you can find Shannon Doherty, that's her name. You can find me on the many platforms, and if you guys want to reach out, you have anything you want to talk about, discuss, I'm more than willing to have you guys on. I'll plan you in, and we'll get in some places and share your stories and share your encounters or share your ideas. I'm looking forward to each and every one of you contacting me. My email is the Eye of Jupiter podcast at gmail.com. You can reach me there. You can catch me on Messenger, on Facebook. That's the easiest way to contact me. It's the one I check the most. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I have a show every Wednesday. This is my last live. Was supposed to be this week, but the guy fell out. So my next live is supposed to be on Christmas Day, so I'm not doing that. That's a pre-record. I'm having on. I did an interview with Darren Franks, who got me interested into MK Davis. So that was an interesting little connection I made there too. And his encounter in the Bankhead Forest of Alabama. And then on the first, I can't remember, but on the first, I also have a show. Hopefully I catch you there as well, and I'll be in the chat, and we can have some fun. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks each and every one of you. It's been a wonderful, exciting, and fun-filled, as well as shocking and enlightening year. And I'm looking so forward to 2025 to see what's going to happen and what comes to light, especially with all this drone stuff that's going on right now, drone things, and not to see who's right. I just want to see where it kind of goes. My message, I guess, short is don't be afraid. There's nothing you can do about it, but at the same time, you can do something. And you doing something is talking to your neighbors, talking to like-minded people as well as not like-minded people, doing small things with big love, opening your heart, and just reconnecting with everything, everyone, including the earth and all of space and time, and you will be fine. I promise.
Definitely, definitely. I appreciate you, Tom, as always, and love you, guy. I know you've got some stuff you got to get done
Appreciate you too,
tonight.
buddy. Appreciate you too, buddy.
So, yeah. So
surprise attack. I got a whole bunch of I got chicken Alfredo that my girlfriend made. Chicken Alfredo. We're going to a party. So I think they're celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary. So she made up. That's what she was cooking in the background. A bunch of chicken Alfredo. So that's what I'll be eating later. Thank you, Pam.
good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, have fun tonight. Enjoy. As usual, you have an amazing lady who has amazing food. I'm kind of jealous about the food, to be honest with you right now. But that's okay. I'll live.
No, all the food comments.
I'll be fine. It's just me.
Well, if you guys are willing to come down to the Yucatan, okay, sounds great, Daniel. Please contact me. I would appreciate that. It's the easiest. It's like Tom Franklin is my name, or you can go through the Eye of Jupiter Facebook page and write me, dude. And let's get in contact. Dude, let's talk about some stuff. Looking forward to it.
Exactly. And
He's
in
back.
closing, in closing, I just want you guys to, again, check out the website, magicaljourney.com. And what did Mark say now? Oh my, please. Okay.
Pizza.
I can't even
every night
be serious for 5
and
seconds.
I call him the pizza ghost because he drives by on his bike and
Wow. I mean, it's not a bad
okay,
gig.
Daniel, awesome.
So to remember, magicaljourney.com.
It is, but it isn't.
All of the stuff. What happened? Absolutely.
Nothing. We have a lag.
A little bit.
Everyone's talking about pizza now. I think everyone's hungry. Oh, he's talking about writing me. The spirit medium Daniel is going to write me, and
Awesome.
it looks like we're going to have somebody on the show. So this is going to be fun. So we'll find out what he has to talk to me about, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's cool. Sign up to my channel too, dude.
I promise you, it will be a good interview. It will be a very interesting interview. So in closing tonight, I just want you guys to remember again, Friday Night Lives, 7 p.m. every Friday at 7 p.m. Also, there's a Tuesday drop. I usually try to get a recorded interview on there. If not, you just get a lot of me talking about stuff, which is okay too, because I'm kind of informative and fun sometimes, every once in a while. And then, of course, Thursday at 7:00 p.m., there's the premiere of the Paranormal Files.
Spirit shizzle dizzle only.
There you go. I'm telling you, he's got some great stuff. Really does.
It's really funny over there. Yes.
It really is. Really is. Yes, and if you have any encounters, any stories that you would like to share, please email me at daniel@magicaljourney.com, which is always a really great contact for me for anything that you wish to contact me about. Looking forward to the rest of 2024 and, of course, the beginning of 2025. You guys get ready because there are some changes coming up. Join my Facebook group to find out what is coming up and what to expect, and also for anything that you have coming up that you want to discuss or know about as far as future gigs and so forth. Meanwhile, you guys know how I always close it out. May your journey always be magical.